Hey there, I'm back. So in this video, I want to talk to you about back pain, and we're going to talk about it from a chiropractic perspective because not everyone, but a lot of people come in and they say, I want to know what my problem is, what's going on with me, why am I having problems? And I'm going to kind of describe to you essentially what chiropractic's going to work on and what we're looking for when you come in and how chiropractic's going to be effective. So in a previous video, I talked about, you come in, we're going to want to know what your issue is and what your goal is, and then we're going to do an exam on you. And usually, like I said, on that first visit, we're going to hopefully give you somewhat of an indication whether we can help. And then usually we'll have you come back for a second visit. And at that point, we're going to sit down and say, hey, here's what we suggest. And let's come up with a plan of attack here, and let's get you where you want to get to. So let's talk about chiropractic and what makes chiropractic unique and the few things that I think the great benefit of chiropractic comes from. So the first thing is that your spine is made up of a series of joints, okay? And now for these joints to stay healthy, they need to move, okay? So your joints are kind of self-lubricating in a way, and when you move, it's really good for you. It's good for your joints. So the first major benefit of chiropractic is that we're going to look to see if any of your spinal joints, now and most chiropractors are the same, are going to look at other joints, whether it's a shoulder, or a wrist, or a knee, or a foot. But we're going to talk about the spine here. So if you've got a joint in your spine that's jammed up, and there's certain areas that are very, very commonly jammed up, and one of them is the low back. So if you've got a joint that's jammed up, that's great, because that's a chiropractic problem. And so what we want to do, we want to get those joints moving. And there's, what's called the main process that chiropractors do that is called an adjustment. And there's different ways to do that. The classic method of getting adjusted is where you hear cracking sounds, but there's different ways to do that. So we want to get that joint moving. Now, why is that? We want to get it moving so the joint can be healthy. Because when a joint doesn't move properly, it's going to deteriorate. And that's what's known as arthritis. So we want to get the joint moving. That's the number one main priority of chiropractic. Now, there's another big part that comes along with a healthy joint. So if your joint's jammed and it's out of alignment, not only is it not good for the joint, but your nervous system, in other words, the communication between your brain and your cells, that brain-body communication is done through nerves, and all those nerves come out of your back. So when you get jammed up, you're also jamming up those nerves. So the other big effect of chiropractic is, hey, let's make sure the brain and body are talking properly. That's a good thing. And we want you to be hopefully doing things on your own that are going to maintain or sustain that. So if there's certain stretches you need to do, we're going to tell you. If you need to strengthen your core, we're going to tell you. And you probably do. Most of us, we all do. And if there's other little tips that we think are going to be beneficial for you, we're going to tell you. And that's probably the third main benefit when you're seeing a chiropractor, is having that guidance of what you need to work on. You're doing great, or we need to kind of tweak this a little bit, or like keep up the good work. So from a chiropractic perspective, we want to get your joints healthy. We want to get you moving and reaching your goals, get you adjusted and get things going. And that's in a nutshell, that's what it is. Now, you may have different diagnoses that are associated with that back problem. You might say, I've got stenosis, or I've got a bulging or herniated disc. But those things fall under what we help with. So if you've got a bulging herniated disc and you're jammed up, we want to get that thing moving. It's contrary to what most people think. They go, well, geez, when I move, I have pain. But I'm telling you, it's critical that you move your body. And that's how you're going to be healthy and have good vitality and all these things and mobility that you're looking to have. So that is, from a chiropractic perspective, our sort of viewpoint on back pain. One other thing too that we have in our office is something called decompression, which is another form. I wouldn't say it's chiropractic, because I know a lot of different offices, like physiotherapy offices, have it, but it's a form of lengthening the spine, and it really focuses a little more directly on those pads that separate the bones. I didn't really show that when I'm doing my two little knuckles, but there's actually pads that separate your bones. And the decompression works a little more specifically on that. So thank you for watching. I hope your back pain gets better. Make sure you're doing things on your own. That's tremendously helpful. As exciting and as big as chiropractic is, I always say it's probably 10% of your health. I mean, 90% of it is all the things you do on your own. Now, it doesn't mean that 10% isn't really important. It is. If you're jammed up, my goodness, it seems like that's everything. But in the scheme of things, it's a smaller representation of your health. So you keep up all the good work there at home. Thanks a lot for watching, and perhaps we'll get to meet you someday. Take care.